Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Friday, May 30th, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. A second autopsy on 11-year-old Adriana Young in the U.S. confirms the initial post-mortem in Guyana was thorough and competent. Vice President Dr. Jagdeo has challenged businessman Adrian Mohammed to provide proof that President Ali assisted him in acquiring a Lamborghini at a heavily discounted price, a claim currently under court review. The Ministry of Health, in partnership with the World Bank and the Pandemic Fund, has launched a One Health program, a key step toward enhancing Guyana's readiness for future health crises. Women and youth across Guyana continue to be empowered through land and home ownership, says Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez. A second autopsy on the body of 11-year-old Adriana Young, conducted in the United States, has confirmed that initial post-mortem performed in Guyana was thorough and competently carried out. However, the U.S.-based pathologist who conducted the second examination is hesitant to conclude drowning as a definitive cause of death, given the circumstances surrounding the case. The second autopsy was performed on Thursday by Dr. Carol Terry, the chief medical examiner in Gwinnett County, Georgia. She spoke with AGP-TV nightly news journalist Travis Chase, highlighting that an autopsy alone may not be sufficient in this case. She said a full criminal investigation is necessary to determine how Adriana died.
There's a lot of information that needs to be gained, a lot of investigation that needs to be done. Drowning is a diagnosis of exclusion, and by that it means that you have to exclude other potential causes of death. And oftentimes when a body is found in water, the assumption is that the person has drowned. There is nothing at autopsy that is diagnostic of drowning. So again, that's what I mean by saying drowning is a diagnosis of exclusion. And in this case, what I have been told regarding the circumstances are so suspicious that I really think that there needs to be a very thorough investigation, and I would want to know the results of, say, toxicologic testing or drug testing from the first examination, as well as any additional testing that was done in accordance with the first autopsy.
Dr. Terry explained that based on the information she received, there are questions about whether the child could have died elsewhere and later been placed in the swimming pool where her body was found, a pool which had reportedly been searched earlier. She pointed out that drowning is not immediately confirmed during an autopsy. While certain findings like fluid in the lungs or sphenoid sinus may support a drowning diagnosis, they are not always present and are not conclusive. As for trauma, Dr. Terry said no physical injuries were observed on the body. However, she also noted that her ability to conduct a full assessment was impacted due to changes caused by the first autopsy, including decomposition and embalming.
That introduces a lot of artifact to the body, and it compromises the examination somewhat. But this diagnosis and this investigation doesn't hinge just on the autopsy. It primarily hinges on the investigation of the death or the investigation of any potential crime that occurred in association with this child's disappearance.
Earlier this week, the Guyana Police Force stated that the original autopsy concluded Adriana died by drowning, with no signs of foul play or sexual assault. Toxicology results also showed nothing unusual. Those findings were supported by retired Royal Canadian Mounted Police investigator Leonard McCaution, who found no evidence of foul play by any person named or unnamed in the case. The investigation remains active. Vice President Dr. Jagdeo has challenged businessman Adrian Mohammed to produce evidence that President Ali helped him acquire a Lamborghini at a significantly undervalued price, a matter that is now before the court. The Vice President issued the challenge during his weekly press briefing at Freedom House on Thursday, just hours after Mohammed made the claim, which was widely circulated on social media.
I have proof where Irfan Ali facilitated and assisted with the clearance of the Lamborghini. I'm waiting for him to say that that is a lie. And trust me, anytime he comes out and says a lie, I'll show the whole country how dishonorable he is.
Do you have proof?
I have proof, sir.
So he said, apparently, that President Ali help him clear the vehicle. So, you know, and he has evidence of this. Now, I would have hoped that he would have produced this evidence and say to the magistrate or in the High Court, look, the evidence is here. Not the fake invoice that he submitted. So let him show that President any evidence. In fact, remember they said they had a lot of evidence about PPP wrongdoing, and the very first meeting, their press conference I said, go to the media. Put everything out that you have. So let him release the evidence that President Ali told him to submit a false invoice to the GRA, a fake invoice to the GRA. Let him release it, because no such thing happened. I spoke with President Ali, he said, not at all. And then tried to drag me, spoke with me about some vehicle, etc. So is it that, one, is it that it's a fake invoice and somebody helped you? Or is it that nobody helped you and the invoice is the true value of the vehicle? You see how they're slipping out from the crime. The crime is that you submitted an invoice, a fake invoice, for a vehicle that's worth $695,000. You said you bought it for $75,000. That's the crime.
President Ali has also dismissed Azin Mohammed's claim as ridiculous, pointing out that the authority to waive taxes lies within the remit of the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA. As such, he challenged Mohammed to produce a true invoice for the vehicle, which is now available to the GRA. Mohammed appeared in court on Thursday to answer tax evasion and fraud charges related to the under-invoicing of a US $695,000 Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster, which he allegedly declared to the GRA at only US $75,300. GRA claims the falsified invoice resulted in over $383 million in lost tax revenue. Mohammed pleaded not guilty to the charges and was granted bail in the sum of $500,000. Vice President Jaglio has accused Mohammed and his supporters of attempting to reframe the legal proceedings as political persecution. The Guyana Defense Force, GDF, has launched a search operation to locate Lance Corporal Stefan Tudor, who went missing during a riverine patrol in the Cayuni River, Region 7. Troops stationed at Ettering Bang and Macapa, near the Guyana-Venezuela border, are leading the efforts. According to release, Lance Corporal Tudor reportedly fell into the river near the Macapa Rapids between 14 and 15 hours yesterday. The GDF has assured that no resources will be spared in the ongoing search operation. The force has also communicated with the family of the missing soldier, offering support during this difficult time. The Guyana Defense Force will spare no resources in continuing its efforts, the statement said, reaffirming its commitment to the safety and well-being of all its officers and ranks. To understand the circumstances leading to the incident, the GDF has convened a board of inquiry. The force emphasized that it remains dedicated to maintaining operational safety standards and learning from such incidents to prevent future occurrences. Efforts to locate Lance Corporal Tudor continue as the GDF remains hopeful for a positive outcome and stands in solidarity with the soldier's family and colleagues. Ignite News will be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
We're for the brave, for tenacity. Here's to the up and at 'em types. We're for the crafters, the drafters, and the ones who clean up after. Here's to the dream makers and the risk takers, because we know what it takes. From mobility to high-speed internet to technology that makes it easy for your business. We're for brave, we're for business, and we're in this together. Bravo.
Welcome back to Ignite News on 6 at 6. Women and youth across Guyana continue to be empowered through land and home ownership, says Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez. Speaking at the ministry's Dream Realized Housing Drive in Region 6 earlier today, the minister said the ministry, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, has allocated a total of 48,661 house lots over the past 5 years. She noted that between today and tomorrow, 1,800 house lots will be allocated within Region 6.
And all of these things help to alleviate some of the social ills in our society, like domestic violence and abuse, freeing women from financial dependence on someone else. We're also very pleased to be able to provide land ownership to young people. Over 50% of all of the allocations that we've made in the past 5 years have gone to young people between the ages of 21 to 35. Giving our young population, and Guyana has a young population, giving our young population a longer time to acquire wealth over the period of their lifetime, and giving them that responsibility early of home ownership and property ownership.
Through the Dream Realized initiative, the ministry is close to meeting its target of delivering 50,000 house lots within 5 years.
So that tells you, if you do the math, that by the end of these 2 days, we are still in the month of May. We are still months away from the end of our first term, and we have delivered our 50,000 house lot mandate in our manifesto. So that is important to us, achieving our mandate, keeping our promises. It's important to us because it's our collateral, because it is our history of achievements that matters when you go to an election. And so when people have to elect a government of their choice, then you have to carefully examine who's working and who is not, who has ideas and who do not.
Housing and Water Minister Colin Crowell, in his remarks, said the initiative continues to meet the needs of people across all administrative regions, helping to clear the huge backlog of pending applicants within the system. He noted that there has been a significant improvement, with the number of pending applicants reduced from over 74,000 in recent years. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, said the party is ready for the upcoming September 1st elections. The current leadership team, consisting of President Dr. Irfan Ali and Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, is expected to remain unchanged. Speaking during his weekly press briefing at Freedom House on Thursday, Dr. Jagdeo said the party is looking forward to the elections and will campaign on its track record and stewardship.
That we in the People's Progressive Party, we are ready for those elections. We are looking forward to those elections, and we are looking to win those elections. And we are going to campaign on our track record and what the PPP stewardship, leadership in this country has meant to the development of our country and its people. And we do not need to go back to our long history of progress made under the People's Progressive Party. But if you were to do that, you would see that we've consistently been the sole party that has fought for people's freedom, for democracy, and to ensure that all Guyanese can prosper.
Since assuming power in 2020, Guyana has embarked on a massive infrastructure transformation spanning roads, housing, education, healthcare, and the economic upliftment of its citizens under the leadership of President Ali. President Ali, the Vice President, affirmed is the right man for the job, contending that no other party could have achieved the progress Guyana has seen over the past 4 years.
We have the plans for the future. We developed the plans for the transformation now, and we have plans for the future. And we have been consistent in implementing those plans. And we are led by the right person. We have Dr. Irfan Ali, who has been the president for several years and will be our presidential candidate. had a wealth of experience as a minister in the government, in a massive portfolio that has delivered enormous benefits to the people of this country.
Meanwhile, leader of the opposition and the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, Aubrey Norton, has also stated that his party is ready for the regional and general elections. The party has been preparing and training election day workers and is on track with its campaign for the upcoming 2025 elections. Another party, a new and united Guyana, ANOG, has welcomed President Dr. Irfan Ali's announcement of elections on September 1st and has called for a campaign free from mudslinging, fear, threats, violence, and division. The University of Guyana has recorded over 20,000 applications in the first month since the government's rollout of free tuition, the highest ever in the university's history. Applications initially closed on May 16th, but due to overwhelming demand and requests from students, the university will reopen its portal from Friday, May 30th to Monday, June 2nd. However, only a limited number of programs with available space will be reopened, as the most competitive ones are already oversubscribed by hundreds. Prospective students can check program availability for both the Turkine and Berbice campuses on the respective UG application websites. The university has advised the responses to applications submitted during the original window will be issued between mid-June and August. Orientation for new students is scheduled for August 25th, 2025. Given the unprecedented volume of applicants, accepted students will have a 2-week deadline to confirm their placement. The university is also encouraging all applicants to regularly check their emails and SRMS accounts to avoid delays or missed notifications. The application period for continuing students opens on June 16th and closes on August 1st. Meanwhile, CSEC candidates sitting exams this year have been encouraged to apply ahead of receiving the results. Some programs will allow for provisional admission, and students can request that CXC send their grades directly to UG to speed up processing. All official announcements and updates will continue to be shared through the university's website, SRMS platform, and media partners. Today, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the World Bank and the Pandemic Fund, officially launched its groundbreaking One Health program, a national effort to boost Guyana's capacity to prepare for and respond to future health emergencies. This initiative is backed by a US $22 million package, including a $7 million loan from the World Bank and a $50 million grant from the Pandemic Fund, aiming to transform the country's health surveillance and response systems. Delivering the featured speech at the event was Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony.
We thought it was important that we situate the proposal into things that we really need. And if we're going to understand what we really need, we can't just be guessing. So that was why we did that assessment, state party assessment, using multi-stakeholders. We brought in people from different ministries, different organizations, and they helped us to craft that assessment. But not being satisfied with that, if we were going to do a good One Health project, we also needed to understand what was going on with the animal population, because we all know that the likelihood of another pandemic is probably going to be from zoonotic disease jumping into the human population. And we need to understand what is happening with our animal population here. And there are many things that we just didn't understand. So domestic animals is one thing, but what is going on with the wildlife, what is happening in that population, it's kind of challenging for us. And so we brought in Panatosa, who was able to help us to do the assessment, the veterinary assessment, so that we can understand where the gaps are in animal health. And we took that into consideration as we were formulating this new project. We also were not satisfied with all that we have done in terms of these assessments, and felt that we needed independent verification in a sense. And so that's why we brought in the joint external evaluators to see what really are we getting this right. And so they did a report, and we were able to see, where the gaps are, how did that match with what we already did. And so, putting all of this together, we then felt that we'll have a good, strong technical proposal to take to the pandemic board. And that's how this evolved.
The One Health approach integrates human, animal, and environmental health, a strategy praised by World Bank officials for its vision and leadership. With today's launch, Ghana takes a major step forward in pandemic preparedness, safeguarding citizens and strengthening its public health future. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Ignite News after these messages.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
This is Ignite News on 6 at 6. High Court Judge Priscilla Chandra Hanif on Thursday awarded judgment in the sum of $4,099,999 in favor of Vice President Bar Jagdeo in libel proceedings brought by Member of Parliament Catherine Hughes. The case arose from Jagdeo referring to Hughes as a lowlife. Vice President Jagdeo was represented in the matter by attorney at law Sanjeev Dattadin. Justice Chandra Hanif ruled that Vice President Jagdeo's remarks about Hughes were protected as fair comment and qualified privilege, as they were made during a heated political exchange on matters of public interest. The court acknowledged that Hughes, while serving as a minister, had awarded government contracts to her own company, Video Mega, contextually relevant, though not central to the case. Jagdeo's comments were in response to Hughes calling him a dangerous, evil man, and accusing him of conspiring with Venezuela over the border controversy. He argued that his response was necessary to defend both his reputation and the national interests amid ongoing tensions with Venezuela. Law firm Hughes, Fields and Stobie stated that Hughes will appeal the judgment. 50 families in the Amerindian community of Bethany, located in the Supanam Creek area of Region 2, are now enjoying the life-changing benefits of solar energy, thanks to the government of Guyana. The exercise was led by Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mandalal Ramraj, who was joined by a high-level delegation, including Member of Parliament Thandika Simone Smith, Regional Vice Chairman Humes Udit, the Prime Minister's Regional Representative Arnold Adams, and other senior officials. The team delivered solar home energy systems, a key part of the government's strategy to build a modern, inclusive, and energy-resilient Guyana. The initiative targets rural and off-grid communities, ensuring all citizens benefit from national development. Each household received a solar unit comprising a 160-watt photovoltaic panel, charge controller, 48 ampere-hour lithium-ion battery, 2 9-watt LED lamps, a 12-watt desk fan, and 2 USB ports for charging devices. Speaking to residents, Ramraj reaffirmed the government's commitment to closing the energy gap in hinterland and remote areas. These systems provide more than just electricity. They offer comfort, connectivity, and convenience to families who have long lived without access to the national grid, he said. This initiative reflects the government's determination not to leave any community behind. He also stressed the moral and environmental importance of clean, renewable energy for underserved communities. Businesses are being encouraged to take advantage of training services offered by the Ghana National Bureau of Standards, GNBS, in the area of business development. Speaking on the program Mintic on the Move, GNBS Business Development Officer Shivraj Ramdat said that training and business development services are available through a technical support program.
Technical assistance, firstly, is a service we provide where we help companies to get certification ready for a standard or standards. Companies can choose to be certification ready to more than one standards at the same time. We support companies through our experts working with them, helping them to build and implement the requirements of standards.
Ramdat added that the training allows businesses to build on management system standards. He noted that GNBS also provides customized training to meet the needs of specific companies or businesses.
It's pretty simple, just reach out to us and indicate that it's an interest that you would like us to customize a training that is tailored for you, we will develop that training, tailoring it to your business. And we're even open to the point that if we don't have the capacity at the moment, we will develop that capacity and provide that training to you after. Because we are the national standards body. It is our role to promote standardization.
Ramdat noted that one of the benefits is a boost in competence regarding standards, which is currently crucial in Guyana due to the advancement of the oil and gas sector. President Dr. Irfan Ali has outlined a comprehensive plan to further modernize the agriculture sector during an outreach with farmers at the Albion Community Center in Region 6 on Thursday. The head of state addressed a gathering of farmers, sugar workers, and fisher folk, sharing several government initiatives aimed at boosting the sector. These include the establishment of a special development fund for agriculture, the integration of technology, and increased investment in market access. According to President Ali, the development fund will enable the government to co-invest with farmers and reduce interest rates. It will also expand the fiscal framework and address components of the taxation system to provide greater support to farmers, while mitigating risk through co-investment. Specifically for rice farmers, the President noted that planned investments will include the development of a modern storage and drying facility, strategies to increase yields, and the integration of advanced technologies.
So one of the things that we will support you on, so one, we have to co-invest on the storage and drying facility, modern storage and drying facility. Two, we have to continue to work with you on increasing yield and productivity. Three, we will be working with you on how to create these integrated farms and identify crops with the technology and the support for you to start up these integrated farms. So if you have 100 acres of rice farm and you have 10 acres dedicated for a high value crop that is backed by technical support and technological support, then you're diversifying your risk portfolio. You're expanding your income portfolio, and we make your agriculture more versatile.
The President also highlighted the use of technology as another means of optimizing agriculture. He stated that farmers would be able to use their mobile devices to anticipate weather patterns and access information on crop diseases, enabling real-time service provision and decision-making.
This is what modern agriculture is about, and these are the investments we are making. Expanded veterinary services, data-driven decision-making. How do we invest in technology, lab services here in this region to support you, so that you can have early detection of diseases, so you can have early response. We can have a more predictable nature of the challenges that the rice farmers are facing. We can have more flood modeling. These are important tools that are available in today's world that would help us to support sustainable agriculture.
Additionally, the President announced that following discussions with farmers, the government will now provide free fertilizer or its cash equivalent to those with 30 acres of land or less. Specifically, the government is offering 1 bag of fertilizer per acre at no cost. However, many smaller farmers have opted to receive the cash equivalent, and provisions have been made to accommodate this preference. We'll be right back with more Ignite News. Stay with us. Welcome back to Ignite News on 6 at 6. Internationally, trade talks between the United States and China appear to be losing momentum, despite a recent breakthrough. According to reports, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says discussions are currently a bit stalled, just weeks after both nations agreed to ease some tariffs and suspend others for a 90-day period. That temporary truce was reached during negotiations in Switzerland, with a goal to reduce tensions and hold off on new tariffs until mid-May. Bessent described the talks as complex and wide-ranging, hinting that real progress may now require direct talks between President Donald Trump and China's President Xi Jinping. He remains hopeful, though saying a call between the two leaders could happen in the coming weeks. Bessent also pointed to the strong personal relationship between Trump and Xi, saying he believes China will be more responsive once the president outlines his expectations. Meanwhile, the President Trump's gold tariff agenda hit a legal speed bump. A recent court ruling found he may have overreached his authority, though the decision is being appealed, and the tariffs have been temporarily reinstated. Despite the slowdown, Secretary Bessent says negotiations with China are ongoing, and that the U.S. is still working toward a long-term resolution. In more international news, nearly half the world's population has endured a full month of extreme heat in the past year, and scientists say climate change is largely to blame. A new report from World Weather Attribution, Climate Central, and the Red Cross reveals that about 4 billion people, roughly 49% of the global population, face at least 30 days of extreme heat between May 2024 and May 2025. Researchers defined extreme heat as temperatures hotter than 90% of readings in that area between 1991 and 2020. In total, 67 major heat events were recorded over the year, causing widespread harm, including deaths, illnesses, crop failures, and pressure on energy and health systems. Despite the damage, the report says heat waves remain underreported and are often overshadowed by disasters like floods or cyclones. The authors call heat waves arguably the deadliest. Finally, in sports, Real Madrid have made a surprise early move to secure one of football's top defenders, just in time for the Club World Cup. Trent Alexander-Arnold will officially become a Real Madrid player this Sunday, June 1st, after Liverpool agreed to release him early from his contract for a reported £10 million, or 8.4 million euros. That figure, confirmed by Liverpool sources, was made as a single upfront payment. But over in Spain, Real Madrid sources suggest they may have paid less, according to the BBC. The 26-year-old England right-back was set to leave on a free transfer when his contract ended on June 30th. But the early deal means he'll be eligible to play in the expanded FIFA Club World Cup, kicking off on June 14th in the United States. Alexander-Arnold has signed a 6-year deal with Real, and his contract includes a £1 billion buyout clause. FIFA approved a special transfer window from June 1st to 10th to allow clubs to register players ahead of the tournament. Real's first match is against Saudi club Al Hilal on June 18th in Miami. And before that, Alexander-Arnold could feature for England in their World Cup qualifier against Andorra on June 7th and a friendly against Senegal on June 10th. And finally, McLaren's Lando Norris is off to a flying start at the Spanish Grand Prix, topping the timesheets in first practice, just days after his big win in Monaco. Norris led the session by more than 0.3 of a second ahead of Red Bull's Max Verstappen, as teams adjusted to new front-wing rules introduced by the FIA for this race. Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc rounded out the top 4. Norris, currently just 3 points behind his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri in the standings, was also half a second quicker than Australian. Racing Bull's Liam Lawson impressed with 6th fastest, just behind Piastri, followed by Oliver Biermann in the Haas, Isaac Hadjar, Yuki Tsunoda, and Pierre Gasly for Alpine. Mercedes' George Russell placed 11th ahead of Aston Martin's Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso. Alonso, who retired in Monaco last weekend due to an engine failure, ended his session early again, reportedly due to performance issues with the engine. The biggest headline of the track is the FIA's new front-wing flexibility test, a move designed to curb how teams manipulate aerodynamic performance using flexing components. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you next time for more Ignite News.